Can you talk about what your style says about you?
God, I hope everything. I always have felt the weight of like, I gotta say right off the bat, like, who am I? Who do I want to be? I think at this phase in my life, it feels like there's a particular weight on like gender and trying to like adequately communicate. Like, I'm not a woman, but I'm not a man. As I started to age and become like a so-called like teenage girl, I was dealing with the expectations of that, whether that means like being popular, being pretty, being feminine, kissing boys. On the inside, I was like, I'm a fucking monster, because even though I'm wearing, you know, Ugg boots and fishnets, I'm like obsessively thinking about, you know, like pinning that 12-year-old girl up against the wall and fucking her. What the hell is wrong with me? You know, I have distinct memories of like, you know, going to something fancy and like being put in a skirt and just like freaking out and like locking myself in the closet or like sobbing. I had this idea that I would leave home, I would go to school, I would accidentally end up sleeping with a woman, and I would be able to just say like, it never occurred to me, but then I did it and it felt really good, and I think I like it.
So you hadn't been with a woman at that point? Or?
I didn't sleep with anyone. I slept with a woman for the first time when I was 18. The night I graduated from high school.
And what was that like?
It was perfect. I found that the experience of doing something that I had spent my entire life like intensely like visualizing, it was just like, was as good or better as I imagined it would be, because it was such a sense of relief, you know. I had this very almost like traditional experience of closetedness, of like, there's my public persona, there's the fact of what I want inside my mind, I'm keeping it a secret, nobody knows my secret. And it was very like isolating. I was so lonely because like I literally had never verbalized like the fundamental truth of how I experienced my desire and my gender.
Was there like a formal like coming out or anything?
I didn't come out till I was 17, when I told my best friend Emily that I was gay. And it just like happened by accident. She was like talking about how she was worried she was going to marry a guy who was like her dad. And I was like, you probably will. You always like guys who kind of are like your dad. She was like, well, then if I will, so will you. And I was like, no, I won't. And she was like, if I'm going to marry someone like my dad, why aren't you? And then I was just like, because I'm gay. Or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then I told my parents like a month later. We're very close. So I think it was very painful for them that there was such a huge part of myself that was like cordoned off and not accessible to them. Like at first, when I came out, I was like, what I'm coming out as is gay. I was like, it's okay if I'm gay, but it's only going to be okay if I'm gay if I'm like a perfect girl in every other way. So I was like, I could be gay, but I have to like get into the best college possible. I can be gay, but I have to like be really fucking thin. Seeing the truth of my identity as something shameful, so wanting to like make sure that every other aspect of myself made up for it. I'm like, people are going to love me less if I'm like running around in like filthy clothes, like a like slobby androgynous 4-year-old monkey, you know? Like it's just like less. Like I'll be less esteemed. Like I'll lose a seat at like the table of like women or something, you know, or like I won't get to be someone's girlfriend anymore. I won't get to be someone's daughter. I won't get to be a sister. Because I think I was really confused. I was like, but I'm having sex with women. I'm out. Everyone knows I'm a lesbian. What is this feeling I'm having? Why am I still like feeling a lot of shame? Why do I still hate my body? Why do I like have moments where I just like am trying to get dressed and I just like start to cry? Like, what's up with that? Some friend of mine had like a chest binder, like a breast binder as like and like as a joke, they were like, put it on, like see how it makes you feel, put it on, you know? And I like put it on and my like breasts were flattened, and I like went and looked in the mirror, and I just like felt I liked what I saw so much, like in a way that I truly hadn't since I got breasts. I started dating someone, my current girlfriend. We were walking down the street or something, or we were lying in her bed, and she just said something to me, like this really light thing. She was like, you're so handsome, which no one had ever said to me before. And it just like hit me so intensely. And immediately I was just like, oh my God, like why did that feel so good? And also like ashamed that it felt so good. What does it mean that it felt so good? But I think that like that's the growth for me. It's like running from that, or like taking it in and accepting it. Like when she said, you know, you're so handsome, I wasn't like, shut the fuck up. It's like the labor of trying to love yourself, even if you never get there. That's fucking labor. The idea that it's like more authentic labor if I like win something or make a shit ton of money or I'm famous than like just working every day to actually try to have honest relationships and actually like attempt to love myself, even if I never get there. Like, pay me for that, you know? Like, Jesus, pay everyone for that.
Can you talk about someone that's been like a great influence in your life?
I met this person named Reina. She's amazing. She's an activist. She's trans. But is like, you know, spent the last like decade doing sort of like trans justice. The time that I met her, like just having finished school, so confused about what the hell to do. Who do I want to be? How do I want to be in the world? What matters to me? Do I want to be successful? What's success? What will that actually give me? Sometimes to the point where I'm just like paralyzed on my bed, just like, well, there's nowhere to go but here, you know, because nothing is what they say it is. I think about the first times that she and I hung out and like some of the stuff that I said and these like accidentally saying these like transphobic things. No one ever having said to me, some women have penises, some men have vaginas. Like, what does it mean to associate a body part with like a way of being in the world? I think that she understood that I was like so pent up and so badly needed a trans community and so badly needed like people in my life who were helping me turn over these stones, that she was like incredibly patient with me. I was just like, oh my God, like I'm like definitely trans. You know, like I just, because before I had understood it to mean like this very clear binary journey. Like, you are one thing, it's not for you, you're trapped in the wrong body, and you go to the other thing. There are two options, and to be trans is to journey from one to the other. Not, it's this like expansive, unwieldy way of being. Maybe just accepting that I don't have a name for myself and accepting that uncertainty is a more accurate reflection and a more freeing reflection of who I want to be than trying to just like figure out which box is best. I come from like a very, as we all do, a very specific kind of family. My parents are like very successful artists. My sister is incredibly famous, as no one doesn't know. It's just a certain model for, if we're talking about success, like I have had a very clear model for like success is recognition, success is public achievement. That's what it means to work. That's what it means to find a purpose. You know, fame is like, it's money, it's visibility, but it also is just a way of saying like, this person, like it's like a scale. This person is supposed to matter more in the world than this other person. And that's just not true. Any system or person who tells you that like someone matters more than another person because of like what they have or what they don't have or whether you know their name is just a fucking lie. Of course, at the same time that I see that, I also want to be loved. I also struggle. I also want to be known. I also don't want to feel lonely. And sometimes it seems like the best way to get at not feeling lonely is to be loved or to be known or to be appreciated. I literally grew up in like downtown Manhattan in a world of like artists. Like, doesn't get more fucking like status obsessed and vapid and pretentious than that. And I developed an attention for this at such a young age, like a lot of anxiety on behalf of people's feelings of inferiority. Just like looking around a room and being, well, that person has power, that person feels like they don't have power, that person feels excluded, that person like wants something they're not getting. Like, it's overwhelming, you know? Like, all of these things I've been criticizing, cultures of fame and status, I still, at the same time that I like can hate them and see the way they function, it's still scary to feel like you could go far enough that you wouldn't be a part of it anymore. And clearly it's coming from within me. Like, no matter how much my mother like loves and affirms me, I'm like, if I get top surgery, is she gonna like love me less because I'm not gonna like be her daughter anymore? And it like, she could say like, no, that's not true, but I still like feel the fear. I didn't realize I was so neat, but yeah, no.
When do you feel the most vulnerable?
I get really sad if I feel like I'm not actually having like authentic interactions with people. And to a point that I think it sometimes is hard for people who are close to me. They're like, I can't go at your speed. Like, I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm not ready to tell you what I'm feeling. You don't get to just know. Like, it takes time. You have to earn my trust. And I have this thing of like, but let's just tell me now, you know? Like, I just want to know. I just want to like be intertwined.
When do you feel the most beautiful? Handsome.
But no, you could say I like being beautiful too.
Okay.
It was
either. Answer both.
Both. I like to be beautiful. I like to be handsome.
Yeah,
I like to be
what's your
cute.
vote?
I like to be sexy. I think everybody wants to be all the things. It's just you feel like you're supposed to only be one of them. It feels really good to have sex with someone who gets you. Sex is a space where when it is good, I feel really like a lot of, like the obstacle course we've been talking about sort of like is less present. You never really know who someone's going to be, you know, when you have sex with them. Because a lot of like things you might expect change. There's a level of like physicality and closeness that isn't happening in the day-to-day when we're constantly like inside of these like more formal ways of relating to one another, like shaking hands and hugging and being polite, and not like going up to people on the street and telling them they're beautiful, which I would like to do. I wish that was more how things were.
Or glasses, which would you prefer?
Grasses.
What's your definition of self-acceptance?
I think self-acceptance, self-love, it's like a process that might not ever come to an end. And I get this frustration, like when I'm feeling bad about my body. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be a man. I don't know if I want to take hormones. I don't know if I want to get top surgery. I don't know if I'm a woman. Like, when am I going to fucking figure it out? Like, when am I going to get there? Like, when am I going to get there? And I have to have friends, or in my stronger moments, I have to tell myself, like, this is actually where you are. Bruh?
Can you talk about why being in your body is a good place to be?
It's funny how we talk about our bodies like they don't belong to us. Like it's a suitcase we have. My body, like, what do you, like, it's mine. It's me. It's not even something that belongs to me. It's who I am. It's like, without my body, I wouldn't have learned a lot of things about myself. Like when, you know, like someone like touches the back of my neck in a certain way, or like the first time I held hands with someone, or like holding someone, and I was able to realize like, oh, that feels good to me. That makes me feel like myself. Like my body recognized that before my brain did. So it's smart. And like probably knows a lot of things that my brain has to catch up with because it's like experienced so much.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. That was absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I feel like completely transformed. I'm going to take pictures of you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching our video and for being such an incredible supporter of Style Like You.
We're Elisa and Lily, a mother and daughter on a mission to inspire acceptance by revealing what's underneath personal style.
Through radically honest docu-style videos, we are leading the fashion and beauty industries towards self-love, diversity, and inclusion.
Join our movement by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and buying our new book today.